They told her the sky would kill her. It had burned the eyes, boiled the skin, tore the bones from children. So they stayed below in tunnels of ash, in chambers of soot and silence. They hadn't seen the sun in 40 generations. Her name was Ka, born with a flame-shaped mark above her brow. The elders said it was a curse, but her grandmother said otherwise. She carries the ember, the old woman whispered. She will wake the fire that walks. Ka grew in shadow, but dreamed in light. She shaped clay into suns. She was caught, beaten, forbidden from speaking the word. Light, but still she listened. And one night, deep beneath the deepest chamber, she found it, a handprint, burned into stone, too large to be human, too old to be forgotten. Below it, symbols, not of beasts, not of weapons, but of fire, walking. The legend was true. There had been a time before fear, when the people above lit the world, when the fire walked beside them. Ka knew it hadn't died, it was waiting. She returned to the chamber every night, memorized every symbol, traced the firewalkers with her fingers, listened for the heartbeat in the stone. And on the night of her 15th season, she made her choice. She would go above. She would break the law. She would find the sky. But she didn't leave alone. Her brother, Tyr, older, stronger, swore to stop her. If you leave, the curse spreads. If you breathe the sky, the walls collapse. If you find the fire, it will consume us, she begged him. He wept, but in the end he followed. The climb took 3 days, stone to stone, chasm to chasm, until at last, a crack, a sliver of blue, in the sun. It didn't boil their skin. It didn't blind them. It warmed. For the first time in her life, Ka cried, not from pain, but from beauty. They stood at the edge of a cliff, and below them, a valley of fire, not destruction, but color. Oranges, reds, a forest igniting with life, and in the center, a creature, towering, golden, not a beast, not a god. It walked like flame, each step leaving flowers behind. The fire that walks, but behind them, a scream. Tyr. He had fallen to his knees, his face not of wonder, but terror. They'll die, he whispered. They were right. He ran back into the cave, back into the dark. In Ka, she stayed. She approached the fire being, did not speak, it did not burn, placed its hand massive warm on her brow, and the mark blazed. Visions flashed through her mind. Tribes walking in sunlight, lakes glowing red, children dancing under fireflies, and a voice. When she returned, the tunnels were trembling. The elders were waiting. So was Tyr. They called her traitor. They threw her to the stone. But the marks still glowed. And when she whispered the truth, some listened. Not all, but enough. A year later they emerged, one by one, blinded, weeping. Reborn, the valley was still there. So was the fire being. And when the sun touched their faces, they didn't burn. They bloomed. Ka died old, her bones wrapped in sunbark, her tomb open to the sky. They carved the old mark above it and a new one beside it, a torch walking. They had forgotten the stars, forgotten the sky, forgotten what it meant to breathe light. The tunnels were everything. Her walls were covered in soot, in whispers scratched into stone, in rules written in silence. The first rule, never go upward. The second, never speak of light. The third, trust only the shadow. That broke all 3. She had been born screaming a bad sign in the tunnels. Children born in silence grew strong, but Ka made noise. She cried for no reason. She laughed at shadows. She carved circles into the sleeping cave floor. And worst of all, a red mark burned on her forehead, shaped like a flame. The elders tried to wash it, scrape it, cover it with clay, but it always returned. Her grandmother was the only one who smiled when she saw it. You bear the ember, she whispered when no one could hear. You are not cursed. You are kindling. She taught Ka the stories no one else dared speak. Stories of the world above, of colors that danced across the sky, of the firewalkers who once guided humanity from one winter to the next. They left, she said. But not forever. They wait for the one who remembers. Ka remembered. By the time Ka was 12, She had already been punished 8 times for sun-speaking. She wasn't trying to rebel, only trying to understand. Yes. Why were there words for stars if no one had seen them? Why did their songs mention rivers when they only drank from dripping walls? Why did the elders wear necklaces of bones shaped like suns? She waited until her grandmother passed to act. The old woman died with a smile. Her final words: "The fire sleeps above. Wake it gently." Yeah. In the days after the morning rites, Ka disappeared from the sleeping chamber. She had mapped the tunnels in her dreams, drawn their spirals on her arms. It took her a full moon cycle to find it, a sealed corridor, buried behind collapsed stone. She cleared it, choking on dust and panic. She found a handprint 3 times the size of hers burned into the rock, and beneath it, symbols curved, flowing, like flame frozen in time. Ka studied the carvings night after night. She mimicked their shape in the dark. She felt heat in her fingertips when she did. Something was waking. But so was her brother, Tyr. He followed her one night, watched her tracing fire into stone, and dragged her back before the council. She was sentenced to stone silence. 1 cycle with no words. No food from others. No fire. But the flame on her forehead still pulsed. And the night before her punishment ended, Tyr came to her. "I saw it," he whispered. "The handprint. The symbols. You weren't lying." And he wept. Acto 3, El Ascenso. The climb was brutal. Twice, they nearly fell. Once, they had to sleep upside down, clinging to vines with bloodied palms. But Ka never stopped. And when they broke through the earth, they cried, not because they were free, but because they realized how much they had been prisoners. Above them, color, sky, sun, but also the fire. It didn't roar. It didn't burn. It walked, golden, silent, alive. It was taller than a mammoth. Its face was shifting flame. Its steps left heat-bloom flowers in its wake. And when it saw them, it bowed. Ka stepped forward. Tyr hesitated. He shook. He dropped to his knees. "I was wrong," he gasped. "They'll never believe. They'll kill us both." Ka turned to comfort him, but he ran. Back into the cave, back into darkness, the fire being laid its hand on her forehead. The mark ignited, not with pain, but clarity. She saw visions, a tribe dancing beneath red auroras, fires guiding mammoth herds across frozen plains, children laughing while lightning struck safely overhead, and a woman. Old, wise, holding a torch before thousands. When she returned, the tunnels were shaking. The elders claimed the mountain was angry. The sky had been pierced. Ka knelt before them. She offered no excuse, only the truth. Tyr stood silent behind her, but when they raised the stone to crush her skull, he stepped between. "She is the torch," he said. "She brings warmth, not fire." The crowd murmured. Doubt began to grow. The mountain rumbled again, and one by one, some followed her. That winter, a quarter of the tribe walked upward. Some froze. Some turned back. But those who reached the sun, they changed. They built new shelters. Learned to speak aloud again. Rewrote the old laws. Ka lived to see children with marks like hers. Lived to name them firewalkers. She died old, her bones clean and warm, her hand still holding a sunstone. They carved 2 symbols into her tomb, a torch and a child walking. They still whisper her name, Ka, the one who broke the stone, the one who woke the fire. And somewhere in valleys no map has touched, the fire being still walks, waiting for the next child brave enough to look up. If her flame reached you, subscribe. There are more torches to come.